Hey up guys, welcome back to my channel. So I've basically gone and done it. I've taken a leap and I've gone and brought myself a quadcopter, also known as a drone, but to me it is my flying camera because that's exactly what it does. It flies around the sky and it takes photos or videos for me. So it's the Parrot Bebop. So why did I buy the Parrot Bebop? One is because it's affordable, and two, because it's got a very good high definition 1080p camera on it. That is why. So why didn't I buy a DJI Inspire? Quite simple. It's not because of the money, it's because of my flight experience. When it comes to flying drones or flying any remote control or manned aerial system, then I'm a complete beginner. I am a complete novice. So that is why I went with the Parrot Bebop. Because if you haven't noticed, it is very, very small. It is very, very light, and I've also got added protection here on my camera. So I am buzzing about that. So that is why I bought the Parrot Bebop. Because it's affordable and because it's a great tool to help me get my flight experience before I get up to the level of buying a DJI Phantoms or Inspires, etc. So let me tell you more about my Parrot Bebop and how it works. If you decide to buy the Parrot Bebop, you can buy it by itself. You can just simply buy the drone quadcopter by itself. Now, if you do that, you're probably thinking, well, how do you fly it if you don't have a remote control? You fly it with a smartphone. And this is actually very, very smart. At first of all, I was a bit like, what's going on here? But now I understand it. And I'm like, that is really, really clever and so cool. So basically what happens is you'd have your screen here and you say tick off, and it would literally tick off and it will start hovering, waiting for you to give it further instructions. Now, it's a mode called ACE. And what happens is if you tilt your smartphone forward, the drone starts moving forward. If you tilt your smartphone backwards, the drone starts going backwards. If you tilt your smartphone to the left, your drone yaws to the left. And yeah, you got it to the right, it yaws to the right. So that's pretty cool. Not only that, but it also allows you to move your thumb around the screen in order to control where the camera's looking. You heard that correct, exactly. You can see on your smartphone exactly what that camera is looking at. And you can choose to move what the camera looks at. You can look up, you can look down, you can look left, you can look right. It is absolutely so cool. However, with the smartphone, you are limited to a range of 500 meters. However, I bought mine with the Sky Controller. So the Sky Controller allows me as a pilot to break free from the 500 meter range, and I can now go up to 2 kilometers, which is roughly, I think it's like 1 mile. So let me show you more about the Sky Controller. So here we have the Sky Controller, and what we can do is we can take our smartphone and we can install it on to the Sky Controller. So now we can look and see exactly what it is our camera is seeing at any time via my smartphone. Or if I wanted, I could actually get a 9-inch tablet. So basically, in essence, the Sky Controller becomes your ground station. And moving on from that is we have our buttons here. Now this button is a return to home button, which means, let's say I've flown, I don't know, 800 meters, and then all of a sudden my smartphone starts vibrating and it starts warning me that I only have 9% battery power left. I panic, I don't know what to do. I can simply just press the return to home button and the GPS will bring my drone back home to me. And that is very, very cool. I've actually done that in real life and it's so cool to finally see GPS bringing your baby back to you. It's just, you know, your heart is pounding and when you see it coming back to you, it's great. However, I do have to say that I have pressed the return to home function and at times it's not worked, but I think it's because I've not locked onto GPS. So what I am saying is when you turn the Parrot Bebop on, you need to wait until the Bebop finds the satellites in the sky. If you tick off without finding satellites in the sky, then when you press the return to home button, how is GPS supposed to tell your Bebop to come back to you if GPS doesn't know where your Parrot Bebop is? So you need to wait for the GPS to lock on to your drone before you take off first. And I think that's why that has not worked when the times I've pressed it. So moving on, what we can see here is we've got LED lights. Now these LED lights here are telling us that we've got full Wi-Fi signal to the Parrot Bebop. If I go over 1 kilometer, then obviously our Wi-Fi bars are going to go down and we're going to get a weaker signal. Now down here we have more LEDs. These LEDs here tell us how much battery power we have got in the Sky controller and how much battery power we have got left on the actual Parrot Bebop. And overall guys, I am so happy with this system. Up here we have a button which we simply move about, and this button moves the camera's view of angle. So if we want to look left, we will look left. If we want to look right, we look right. We want to look up, press up, down, etc. And that is so cool because it's all there at your fingertips. Now I have contacted Parrot myself because I have noticed something with regards to the Parrot Bebop, and that is this button over here at the top, this button here, it doesn't do anything unless you wear FPV goggles. So I basically said to Parrot, you know, if that's not doing anything when I've got FPV goggles, if I don't wear FPV goggles, and if that's not doing nothing, is there any chance we can make that adjust the exposure value of the camera? Because let's face it, us photographers, us videographers, basically us camera guys, we are always using exposure values. All the time we use exposure values. But at the minute, if we want to brighten the exposure value, we have to go into the app itself and then go into a system menu and muck around with the fiddly screen in order to adjust our exposure value. If Parrot was kind enough, they could simply do an update which would allow us camera operators simply to tap that to decrease the exposure value or tap that to increase the exposure value. Now, have I crashed my Parrot Bebop? Yes, I have. How did it happen? Whose fault was it? I'm not too sure. Right, basically, what it is, I think you could have a better safety system on the Parrot Bebop with regards to the propellers, because when I took the propellers off and then I put them back on, but you know, like with some safety things, you'll turn it and then you'll hear a little click or you'll hear a little snap to say that it's locked. With the Parrot Bebop, you don't get that. You simply just, like when you put the propellers on and you turn them around, that's basically it. When you get to the end of it, that's it. The propellers are on. So I done that with all 4 propellers. However, it turned out that one of them I did not put on correctly. And yes, pre-flight check, I should have checked thoroughly, but I did not. However, when my Parrot Bebop took off and I press, you know, forward, and it went forward. One of the propellers flew off in the middle of a field. The Parrot Bebop comes crashing down, and when I examined it further, I had no propeller. I had mud and wet stuff all within the motors, and basically my Parrot Bebop wouldn't take off again when I put the propeller on, because the Parrot Bebop has this safety feature built into the motor system that if the propellers can't spin freely, then it won't take off. The propellers will just not work. So for example, if that's spinning full blast and I hit my hand in there, the Parrot Bebop will just drop from the sky. And because there was mud and dirt from the crash, that stopped the Parrot Bebop from working. So what I had to do was I had to get a toothbrush, which was thanks to a farmer who actually gave me this tip. He said, get the toothbrush, get in there and make sure you can clean it, and you know, then get the needle, pick out all the mud, and then get that propeller spinning. Thankfully, it is all now working and it is fully operational again. But guys, I am having so much fun with regard to the Parrot Bebop. I'm actually hooked now. I'm addicted to the whole quadcopter drone scene, and I'm also looking at new drones, what I would like to get. Wink wink, DJI Inspire, or if I'm being a little bit more, you know, realistic, it's probably going to be something like the Blade Chroma. But guys, yeah, so there we go, my first video of 2016, and it's about my new flying camera. Thanks guys, I'll see you all in the next video.